Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Well, tonight, to be honest with you, before I get myself all tongue twisted, we have a collaboration show between the Dollar Hour and Change the Live, hosted by Deonte Burden, because I feel tonight's subject matter that we're discussing is something that goes, it covers both platforms. Mm-hmm. And what we're talking about tonight is college worth the cost. And with the school year just started, and a lot of parents getting their kids enrolled in college, it's a great. There's a lot of excitement around the kids being enrolled in school, mm-hmm. and getting ready to go that particular trip. But one thing that I think a lot of times people don't really notice, or really not notice, but really put a lot of thought into is once school starts, you start looking at the cost of tuition, the cost of housing, the cost of them being there, all the other additional costs, car insurance, clothes, mm-hmm. spending money, whatever.
Right.
And so what I wanted to do was just have a conversation with everyone in regards to, it's cost worth the cost. We're going to look at some of the pros and cons, why you should do it, why you shouldn't do it from my perspective, and also give insight, on different things that I look at in regards to what I'm looking at things for my children, and also, just sharing ideas with other friends and things like that. But again, the night show we're discussing is college worth the cost.
Okay. Okay.
Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lamb.
What's going on, brothers? Thursday.
Hey, man, the best day of the week.
Best day of the week.
Yeah.
If they not soaking up all this knowledge, they can't say they didn't know.
Hey, man.
So you giving it to them every week.
Hey, every week, man. Every week. And before we get started, we also say what's up, brother? Producer Sleep 316.
What's going on, Ricky? What's going on, Ricky?
I
know, right? Need that pressure.
But again, the night show we're talking about is college worth the cost. But I do want to give a big shout out to everyone. We discussed this last show. We're still ascending. Mr. Short Dollar, we did eclipse over 30,000 subscribers.
Ooh. I haven't looked at it since last week, but
and even with Changing Lives, my yearly goal for 2020 was 5,000 subscribers. We started off, I think, a little bit up under 3.
Oh, okay.
We're over 6,000 subscribers right now. So
another clap.
Hey, man.
What you doing?
Everybody else say damn tambourines.
Right.
Yeah, man, I want to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate and love you guys. Thanks for all the love and support. And if you haven't, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Mr. Short Dollar, you can Google it. You'll see this handsome face pop up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to take advantage of all the great information that we have on the channel covering personal finance, entrepreneurship, finance, and operations, business operations. Also, another YouTube channel, Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden, where we talk about personal development, professional development, parenting, a lot of personal issues and things like that. But it's been a great show. Actually, I had that show. It's the older channel, but it's a smaller channel. But definitely go to both of them, subscribe if you haven't already. But to talk about tonight's show in regards to what we're saying, it's college worth the cost. With me personally, guys, I'm sorry. Feel free to call in. The call in number 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. We had a little pervert call in. Like to have
No, I don't think. No,
jam my damn look.
Don't speak him up. Don't even put him into existence.
I got you. But we talking about tonight's show again. Again, I'm sorry. Feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, the main hub is the YouTube channel. So if you do have to leave and you're able to come back, you want to catch the video in its full entirety, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, or you can go to Change the Live, hosted by Deonte Burden on YouTube as well. But again, call in. Feel free to add to the conversation. 678-740-9894. And again, we just speak for myself personally. I'm the first of everything in my family.
Okay.
First, go to college, grad school, corporate America, entrepreneur, all that stuff. And when I said, I just remember my grandparents had great family. Don't get me wrong, awesome childhood, but my grandparents that raised me were very. It didn't matter with me, as long as I wasn't selling dope and getting in trouble. They were cool,
Right.
So they would, their thing was, Poochie going in the army, Poochie straight, he said for life.
Right. He good.
Yeah, because my aunt had went in, she retired from the military, so college wasn't really just even thought of. You're like, you go in the army, you good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I had big aspirations for myself. I say all that. I remember vividly my grandparents were always saying, just talking. And it's the first time I ever heard it. College ain't for everybody.
Right.
And I think, and the statement is true, but I feel like the statement was made not because they really didn't think it was for everybody. Going back, I feel like it was said because it was just seemed like it was something that was unattainable.
Okay.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people say, well, I remember my grandfather was loving to death. Look, no man made a big influence in my life than my grandfather. But I remember my grandfather just, the era of men, there'll never be a black president.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just hearing this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it, but I never bought into a lot of stuff, and everything like that, just because of how I thought. But mentality-wise, me going to college just wasn't
in the books.
Yeah. It wasn't shunned upon, but it damn sure wasn't pushed because that wasn't their world, right?
Yeah.
So I just remember that going through and everything, but just you talk to a kid with in gifted classes from 5th grade to 12th grade. I messed up, and friends and son called girls. I got high school. I threw a lot of stuff off.
Don't that always mess up something?
Yeah. What I say all that to say that that caused me, honestly, not that, but my decision may cause me not to be able to qualify for scholarships and everything. I graduated, I think it was a 2.8. I don't even know that damn high from high school and everything, graduating and stuff. But I had to go to the military to get myself together, get everything together with that. San Francisco PR says great topic. People tend to lessen what they are familiar with, exposed to. Yeah, exactly. And I know just with going in and stuff. I just like, man, let me go in the army and everything. And one thing about it, people that know me, that sometimes I can come off where it may say, Poochie being arrogant or Poochie this, that, and that, or cocky or whatever. And I've been hearing that shit my whole life, so it's no big deal.
Right.
But if you know me, I'm always doing stuff for other people.
Right.
But with that said, I will tell you one thing that's always stuck with me my whole life, and I was thinking about this on the way to the show. Like, my mind is quick to just know, like, man, I ain't supposed to work with a dumbass person. Like, I'm really up under somebody. I'm like, man, they dumb as hell. And like, I'm talking about from Miss Winters on Bankhead, Chuckles on Bankhead.
Okay.
That's a dumbass damn manager. I'm talking about like, but they were in charge of me.
Right.
And I really seen that when I got in the military. Like, these are damn imbeciles.
But they've been in there a long time.
They've been and they were over me.
And they knew the process.
Exactly. Right. Even when I got to corporate America, because at the end of the day, you start saying you're in corporate America. I can be honest with stuff. I'm a corporate accountant, doing everything and stuff like that. Growing up and, being from the city of Atlanta, I really didn't encounter all most of them, majority of them were all black, right? So subconsciously in your mind, you maybe think white folks smart or certain things like that. I remember we go to those high Q competition, they blow us out of the water.
Right.
I look back at that and just probably more prepared.
Yeah,
they took it more serious.
They got the weekends together.
Exactly.
Right.
So going back into that, my dealing with the military with white people in the military, even going into corporate America because my exposure with white folks, you like, okay, maybe I'm a little smart. Just be honest with you, right?
Right.
Even when I went to Georgia State, but my major in college in finance was really just Asians and Indians. There weren't really too many whites enough. So I'm just saying going into that, but it's still the same thing here. They dumb as hell. Like really like pushing. And I had to come to that conclusion, just because I always, had my little hustle, had the businesses and stuff going. It got to that point, like that's why I work for myself. It's a lot of people smarter than me, but it ain't that damn many. I'm just sitting there like, I have a problem.
Right.
I'm one of the few people, and I hear people all the time like, man, my dumb ass supervisor, my dumb ass manager. I'm one of the few people. I get the hell on.
Right.
I don't sit there.
You don't sit there and waste your time with that. With that
I ain't no. And trust me, I've left great jobs. You know what I'm saying? Nah, hell no, because it does not have I have any problem issues with following leadership, organization, or even structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I understand like certain things, like hey, from a process standpoint,
right?
Then I don't need to be upon this person,
right?
And so we started having this discussion about the scholars work the cost because everybody has a different journey, right? In regards to that, and I just wanted to kind of just open the doors over there, so we can just talk about, when you start looking at going to college, and you think about graduating, going and progressing, having a career and everything like that. What are all the factors that go into you actually attaining that degree, and then the pros, the cons? We've done some of the shows like this in the past,
right?
But also like some of the drawbacks of doing it, because there's a lot of people that do have degrees and they ain't never used them. There's a lot of people that use degrees, but they just really, when they got out of school, they just couldn't find certain things, buried in debt and everything. So we want to have that discussion with you guys tonight. Savage Police, the PR, said, do you think there's a cultural divide between college-educated individuals and those who aren't? Some people seem to express unspoken tension between the groups. Let's talk. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm going to get to that in a second. That's a great question.
King Yoshi Man says, depends on what you're doing in college. I guess it depends on what degree you're trying to get. So that may be the case. I want to go back to something you said. When you were talking about our grandparents, my grandfather and my grandmother raised me, and their aspect was just graduated high school back then anyway, because we older. So back then it was just graduated high school and you could go work at this factory. And you know how we talked about that before, and be at this factory for 30 years. That was the main goal back then for when I was growing up, and when we were growing up with our grandparents, was to graduate out of high school. That was always discussed. But it was more it was never discussed, well, graduate high school, then you go to college, then you do this. It was always graduate high school, and then you can go up there and work at the Ford plant, or get a job at AT&T or something like that, and work there, and you'd be good. That was always the topic. Or go in the military. My grandfather did mention it because he was in the Army, but my uncles wasn't having that, so that wasn't the case because they were already in the Marines, and they was like, this ain't for black folks. So anyway.
Lab, I had one of my cousins, Robert Fred, older cousin, my guy in the Army, and he worked at that's Ford, the one right there. He built Ford plant in Forest Park.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, this paperwork, we had a little family gathering. People tell like, Pooch just got an Army, tell what you do. I said, man, I think you're ready to go to school. And he gave me a look. He didn't say anything. Damn near like, they're trying to give you a job.
Right.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, that was just what he processed. He couldn't even like fathom, like, I'm making good money here. Why you tripping? Why you like, no, again, I ain't knocking it, but I'm ready to go to school. So to the question of Savage Bliss just mentioned up, there, I think the tension between people that are educated and uneducated. I think so. I think that it goes back again what you know if you don't know.
Right.
I've always felt like I got my friends that I grew up with, but I've always felt like, some place you go and they'll look at you like, you think you better than him, whatever,
right,
you might have a suit and tie and stuff like that. But I don't that's just part of it.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
You can't really, people gonna trip anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because you can be, because you're educated, you ain't educated. Some folks are actually, be doing well and they want to show that they doing well. Some folks saying, it's always gonna be something that people can look at another person and have issues with.
Right.
I always say this is that I never been the type, and I got 3 of my sons, got 4 boys, 3 of my sons. One graduated college, one about to graduate, another one, a year and a half out. I've always pushed college, but the thing of with all my children, I hope someone while I'm coming to show is that if you don't want to do something, what is your plan?
Right.
Like, I'm not big on I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not big on when and I say it all the time. When people tell me I don't want to do this, or people saying, "What do you want to do?"
Right.
Because I think that's a cop out.
Okay.
Because people doing what they have to. This I'll walk backwards from that goal. Walk backwards about older son they do it. They ain't got to wrote down or no. It's just word. I do this, and then I can actually do that. That's when things change, and so that's why I say a lot of times, people have tensions. A lot of times, depending on exposure, how they feel, things they have or have not happened to them. So that's why, I think a lot of times you have tension.
Do you think that when people write this stuff down and try to have a organize their plans on how they need to approach things, do you think it makes them say, dang, this is a lot to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it discourages them sometimes, because sometimes but visualizing them has made you be like, man, I can't do all this. Whereas just attacking them as they come.
Well, you be doing things.
Okay.
But when you sit there and map it out, because if you're attacking it as they come, how you know you're doing the right thing? Because now you assume you're doing stuff. If you map it out, you sit there and say it. Because if you can't, if you look at it and it's insurmountable, you might want to rethink it, or because you know you. But if you attack it as you come, how do you know what
Kelly? And I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Kelly Sherrod. Sherrod says, "I wish I had not wasted my time with college just to have not graduated and have student loans still."
That's one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest problems that people go to college. They don't realize the amount of money the amount of debt that you be in after you graduate out of college, and that debt never goes away. I think let me tell it, they still try to collect it after you pass away from your family. Let me tell it. But I didn't. Luckily for me, I didn't have student loans when I went to college. I had grants, so I was good.
Yes. Savage Publicity PR says, and then there can be a divide with traditional in-person universities and online platforms. Yeah, I think that's, and then we're gonna. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna get to that in regards to certain things that I've noticed over the past couple of years. But tonight's show we're talking about is college worth the cost. Feel free to call in 678-740-9894. But we look at it, just say if you want to go to college, what are some of the initial benefits? You got potential increased earnings.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in a situation to get increased earnings with doing stuff, and as you progress, just from an educational a certification standpoint, you got potential to make more earnings on top of that.
Right.
Also, you got more employment opportunities. Some jobs may require you to have certain, in addition to the experience, may have certain education requirements with doing it, and you can't get around that, right? You can't be a doctor without going to medical school. You can't be a lawyer without going to law school.
Right.
You can't, certain things you can't, do unless you guys, you've been educated. You got certain things with doing it. Sometimes you just have a person that worked for years that know it. They'd be more not just knowledgeable. Doing it, one thing about with college, you learn to think a lot, especially when you around other people with different ideas, especially people with different intelligence levels that can help you process and think, do different things like that. One super thing, benefit I think with college is just networking. I had a conversation with Christopher, my third son today, going into his sophomore year, and I gave pretty much all my kids the same blueprint. Can't say everybody followed it, but for the most part, they did okay with it. Vivian Thomas is his name. Thanks, Shane. I appreciate that. That's the person that most that portrayed.
Okay.
For the nursing system. He's search. I forgot his exact term, but he worked at John Hopkins,
Okay.
black man. And what I was saying as far as personal networking, me and Chris were just talking, like you're in second year of college, and then we've talked about this, especially the show. If y'all go to Change the Line, hosted by Deonte Burden, I did a show a couple years ago where me and Lamb talked about why my child can't get a job after college.
Oh yeah.
Why my child can't get a job after college.
Right.
And we went in depth about certain aspects that I think that a lot of times people didn't do. They didn't do market research to see if that job was had, that particular thing that we're getting educated on. And this is y'all really follow me with this. Got a kid in college, got a kid from get ready to go. Do your due diligence. Don't go off what your child wants to do.
Right.
Do your due diligence. I'm not saying you got to make them do this, but make sure you do your homework to see what the market need for that particular degree program is.
Right.
They still might do something else, but you really need to be doing. Do not leave the shit to them. Do your own market research. You want to go to school for this? Okay, cool. Like this is the demand for it. This is the pay for it.
Right.
And mathematically, we can sit here and say, "But parents, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real." And I had this conversation with somebody, ex recently. All college tuition fees are posted on the school's website.
Most definitely.
None of this shit is a surprise.
Right.
So
they've been posted. They used to send papers home.
Man, come on.
When I went to college. I'm like, what's this? Oh, this is your fees.
I don't want to hear shit about, hey, this stuff hot.
Right.
You do that for listen, you can find all this stuff out just being proactive. So parents, do your due diligence. Find out, looking at listing your child. This is what you want to do? Cool. Okay. Now because a lot of times parents will listen to their kids and hear what they want to do and just be glad they want to, especially if the parent isn't educated. Once they're educated, got a degree,
right?
Like, okay, they want to go to school for that. And you got to it doesn't matter if you got a degree or not. If you know that you're going to be help subsidizing your child, either paying for the tuition or help take care of what they do, you need to do your own homework. Because there'll market demand for this in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And you can have a hard conversation with your child. Hey, listen, I know this is what you want to do, but it's not it's not a real big demand for it in this area. Or if there is, what's that gonna look like? Are they going to be able to get a job from an entry level stage? Loans. Now, if you go and you just get to school, say I don't like it, and you leave out, I get it. You can't really trip on it. I mean, just that can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
Like, you sit there and say, "Look, I'm going to acquire." To 100,000, I see some. Then you see the people with usually higher amount of student loan debt, maybe people like the attorneys or the doctors and stuff like that, $1 million student loan. They're doing that, but they're going to actually get a job that's going to pay them enough money
to cover it.
So I would say that I say all that to say it's a lot of stuff on the front end, parents. There's a lot of stuff on the front end you need to be doing, and don't leave that shit to the kids. So again, when we start looking at this is what that school costs, and this is what these particular schools they're looking at. We can estimate this is what it's going to be in 4 years. This is what the student loan is going to be to cover that. And hey, listen, you can do the research. What are they paying those people?
But also the higher degree, as far as doctors, lawyers, and those type of when you get into those type of fields.
What give you compensation
Mhm.
to cover the debt you're going to incur,
Mhm.
right? You know, I'm just being real. That's the thing about it. A lot of young people call me certain times on the OG stuff like, hey, think about doing this. What do you think about that? You know, I go back to, my math side. Okay, what's the bump going to be if you get that? If you get this certification, you get this master's, you get this, what is the bump going to be?
Mhm.
Okay, so the student loan that, because, generally, and even with that said, student loan nationally funded, you can Google it. I think it was at 3%, nationally 3, whatever the actual rate they charge on students. This is public information.
Right.
This is public information, right?
We're going to give out good, right information.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, you can do your calculations
Mhm.
to find.
Mhm.
One key thing. If your child's tuition is $15,000 a year, and you are approved for $20,000 student loan for each year, don't go blow that $5,000 difference. Put it up somewhere. Put it up somewhere. In a position where they can acquire, compensate.
What is 3%? Wrong.
What is it?
6.53%.
Okay, 6.5.
Right.
Right?
All right.
What's going on, cuz? What's happening with the thing going back what I was saying with Crystal, again, we're talking tonight about is college worth the cost.
Say hey, mom.
What's going on, mama?
Hey, mama.
As usual. What I was talking about earlier. Again, guys, I'm sorry. We're talking about tonight. It's college worth the cost. Feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number is 678-740-9894. One of the things crutch, protect them, go get your ass some hoops.
Right.
People do not, I'm not, people are so damn cool until they need some money.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're not, me and Christopher, my third son, very bright young man, we probably by far the shyest of my sons. Like I was having a conversation today, like, hey, bro, we done got the first year under your belt.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need you to kind of
work on that.
Be a little more aggressive.
Right.
Join organizations, network. You did okay, make some friends. Now we need to kind of go in there because again, it's not really about the actual skill set that you acquire in college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think that just because you got a damn degree and you're going to get a job, there's a lot of you out there. There's a lot of you out there. So it's just like if you do have one or don't have one, when jobs are posted online, entry level at the warehouse, entry level at the retail store, you need a master's degree for this, you need a PhD for that. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be more than one person that's gonna apply.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, the people that get pushed to the head of the line is the people that know somebody that can kind of beat the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You need to push your child to be as aggressive as possible to try to find not just network. I say network, not just meet somebody that works somewhere 30 years. Meet people that can be decision makers, influencers. Real talk. Do not use your hesitation to talk to strangers and push that shit on your kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest things to me hurting people.
Right.
Just like I say, just with or without a damn education.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know any damn body. And they don't go above and beyond
to try.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, just keeping it real. It's not a network is not somebody that you know that works there. That's not a network.
Mm-hmm.
right? That's somebody you know.
Right.
There's like an asset, it's a value tag, attached to a network, a true network, where you can call this person who can give you a job, or
Right.
who has the ear of the person
that can give you that job.
They can give you the deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you know.
Not Charles who go in there and say, I talked to he liked me because he buy.
That will reach out to people and talk. But I will tell you this: I think if people made a bigger effort at networking and doing something, a lot more folks wouldn't be so anti-school, anti-education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the missing piece.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece. If your kids doing internships, are they, again, I'm not endorsing whatever they say there, but say if they're going sororities, fraternities, if they're joining different other organizations, they're meeting people. Of course, they're in a situation where they may do an internship, they got potential to get a job, and also meet a person that can say, hey, well, you intern up here at Wells Fargo with us, but hey, we don't have the jobs, but my cousin, my buddy, my frat brother works at Chase. They got opportunity for you.
Right.
With doing that. That's what you got to be pushing your kids to do. Far too often people don't do that.
Yeah, a lot of people consider that to be big.
Well, you know what?
I mean, some people do. I don't.
Well,
I think the network is a very important thing.
Folks say, "God, shit, they ain't got no damn problem, big."
Right.
You know who hiring? You know who got something? Shit.
Right.
I'm dead serious about that, man.
And I don't think people realize that a lot of those connections and networking, a lot of that stuff is developed within college. You think about fraternities and sororities and how they take care of each other even after college is done. You know what I'm saying? They so tight with each other. Those things matter because you may need to look for a job. You may have to call your frat and be like, hey, I lost my job at such and such. You know anything about anybody? Oh, I don't know. We not, like you said, we not hiring, but it's 6 other people I know from our fraternity. Call them.
Yeah, but see, just even with that, hell, even like, just saying, even with stuff you might do in adulthood, you're going to join there. I get it. You want a fellowship, join the motorcycle club. But at the end of the day, too, like anything that you deal with, spend some time with, make sure you networking with people, because a lot of times, I've been in an organization, you said, what's up to a guy, this, that, and that, and you be like, damn, man, what the hell do you do?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
And you find, okay, man, they have influence, they got certain ears with certain people's ears and stuff, but you got to push that with your kids. So we start asking these questions like, it's college worth the cost. Because again, we talk about the aspect of, we know tuition, we know student loan debt, those kind of things have that. Those can cons you might have. We know the pros, you got bigger earning potential, you got big opportunities with that. You can kind of weigh that out. But I think one of the biggest things that hold a lot of people back is because they don't spend enough time trying to network and grow themselves. Man, you out your damn mind. Mama can make a lot of money.
Right.
They ain't making a damn surgeon, man.
Right.
I say all that to say I'm very big on trade schools. I'm very big on
vocational,
any kind of anything vocational. But let me say this to parents. Period. Stress it to your kid. When you talk to a person, let me just say this to just keeping it real. For at least the past 7 years, I've been in the 100. I at minimum one school, but I go on average like 2 or 3 schools a month during the school year. So you're not. I'm dealing with kids outside of my own all the time. Been a youth football coach over 20 years. But I mean, as of now, I'm in and you're not smart enough to go to college, you go to vocational school or tech school,
Right.
and get a skill. Listen to me. You still need basic skills to be a plumber.
That stuff, and
in Chicago, we had a bunch. We had CVS, Chicago Vocational School. We had one more other one. I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but CVS was the biggest one, and that was, and I think Chicago had 3 or 4 just straight vocational high schools.
Yeah, well, I know when I did the baccalaureate at Carver High School, that's when they told me. It wasn't about 2 or 3 years ago when I did it, and that when they told me they don't have any they don't have any comprehensive high schools in the city of Atlanta.
No, really?
Nah, hell no, not one. I remember they told me that when I did the speech at Carver.
But Slick says I want them. Oh, hold on, something real quick. Slick says I like college, but to me, college is for connections and life experience. I want them to know it's more to the world than Zone 6, 1-6, East Side, South Side, etc. So she's talking about when they get out to college, they should go somewhere else. And when they go to college, go experience some things.
Well, the flip side of it is too, and I just say this for myself. I had to get that party out of me. I went in the Army.
Right.
Went in the Army, went to Europe.
Right. Y'all heard the story. So you got the party out.
I had to get the party out of me. So
Right.
had to run and chase them Fraulein for a couple of years. I had
Right.
time of my life. But I do think focus is a lot. We started talking about college worth the cost. And guys, again, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. If I come to your comment late, y'all please forgive me. I'm trying to work everything and everything. My brother Albert Pimps, I'm doing both. So I know some making 200,000. So I'll get back to you. The actual is college worth the cost. A lot of times, man, I will say this with parents. We start looking at these particular things that you're doing with your kids and looking at those particular skill sets they can acquire. You need to make sure that this is it. We're allowed about to say, your kid. Okay, so I just want to just say this. I know all my children.
Right.
And this is go to that point where Lab was getting at. And when we look at college worth of cost. Let's take shit off college for a minute. Your child.
Right.
If you're struggling to get their ass out the bed,
Get
sitting
the bus
here
on the corner at the house.
and you send their ass off to college, what the hell gonna change?
Right. Now I'm going. Let me say this, and this is when I went to college. And I'm not just throwing my age out here just to try to prove something. I was only 15 my first year of college. Well, actually 14. I was only first year. I have to say,
18, 19?
no.
Okay.
I only say, and they could be. I don't know, but I'm just telling you what my experience was when I went to college, and maybe because it was a all boys college, and it was predominantly black, and they wanted to make sure that this young man, 14 years old, got to college, got to class. I don't know, but once they found out my age and everything, it was pretty much every. And when I got out of class, they came and got me, took me to my next class. So it wasn't a case of where I didn't get up. I guess it was just a case of we're gonna make sure he make it.
Lab, parents, if y'all send y'all child to school, you expect no kind of accommodation, yeah, don't see their ass back home in December. If you send your child out,
I'm not saying it's gonna happen to everybody, but I just want to say, as my experience was, I didn't have that problem, and I didn't have that problem too much at University of Illinois either. that there were some people there that helped me out too.
What you was 17 then?
When I was
16, 17. We went Illinois.
when I went, well, I was still 15.
Still 15.
I only went to Morehouse for six months because
Gotcha.
I couldn't adjust not to the school but just to the area. I was alone in another state, and I had lived in Chicago all my life. So
Gotcha.
you know,
Well, so fast forward, I know 3 of them that went to school. I ain't heard no shit like that. Now,
right?
now let me share this because I really want to have this conversation because a lot of times parents or even people don't want to own themselves, right?
Right.
You know your child. And I say my oldest son had a football scholarship, and so I knew at the end of the day, because I mean I was talking to the recruiters that there were things in place because my 2 older boys. I mean, my mailbox to this day is still the bus stop. Right, even with my baby boy.
Okay.
The mailbox is at the bus stop. My 2 older boys. I mean, they would be. But I knew going into if he didn't get up, they were going. I don't wake them up.
They already at the bus stop.
William, my baby boy, shit. By that,
Right.
don't wake him up, don't do nothing. Clothes ready. My last 2 sons were like that, right?
Right.
Same mama, dad. I don't know what the hell it was.
They learned from the other 2.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, same mom, dad, the same house,
Right.
whatever. But I haven't had that issue. I say that to say my 2 older boys, I sent them to places that I knew were structurally prepared to handle them. Right? I'm very realistic about that. Parents, do not send your child somewhere hoping. You gotta know. Not right. Daddy, mama, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna do this and everything. And you fuss with them, but get your ass to go to class.
Right.
You fuss, and you know they're not gonna do it.
Right.
You know they're not gonna do it. Right? You got 18 years of data. Right? You know?
Most definitely.
So why would you send your child in a situation? They come back home that December. His ass didn't want to go to he didn't want to get out of bed. His ass didn't want to go to class. They never did.
Right.
Right? They're not bad. They're not this, that, and that, right? You got to know that kind of stuff.
Right.
You got to know that kind of stuff.
Wasn't structured enough
to well, not say structured, but it just wasn't high on the radar. You know.
Right, we had too much blame, they do wrong.
Right.
I mean, just you had it in the house.
Right.
They make decisions on their own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And see, when we start talking about this, that growth and development of your child, right? Like they can stay at home and work, or they can go to school. Shit, sorry, gonna be sorry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they gonna want to take initiative to go, because it's plenty of kids that didn't go to damn school. They sitting there mastering Fortnite.
Right.
Still. I mean, like, you know,
you're right.
Now put a 1 in the comment if your son 25 at home. Mastering Fortnite all day.
But I say that to say, like, my children, they all went to military high school. They all went to military high school.
You see the ones?
No. They all went to military high school. My first one, he took to it okay. He took to it well. My last one took to it. But my middle child, who's out here, certain things. And then once you do that, you can go work in the office to learn office skills, typing, computer, all that stuff. Then you work in the office for the school. She took to that well, but it's just as far as just the other stuff like the PT, the typos on the bed, Foot Locker clean, she wasn't having it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I sent them to that school because I knew that their mindset was like whatever. But that little girl, she did not take to that at all.
But see, here's the deal with that. We learn because sometimes it's these statements sit here and say, well, they ain't gonna do this, they're not gonna do that, and you don't know what kind of environment you get in. You might thrive, whatever. But I do say at the end of the day, sometimes we say like this ain't working.
Right.
We got to sit here. What I really want to emphasize is when people ask, we start, you're looking at in regards to this college worth the cost. Far too often, people want to discuss like passions or what they want to do or they didn't want to do that. And me and this is just how I feel.
Right.
I'm not a big proponent of people asking that, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to do? Because, to the point where I said before, I think it's just a cop-out. Because a lot of times people are like, I ain't really feeling that. I wasn't liking school, wasn't doing that. But then you find yourself in a situation doing some shit you really don't want to do. Right. And you're stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you go through this whole cycle of, I don't know, I don't do this, that, and that. And the whole time while you try to figure shit out, you get older and older and older and older. And all while you getting older, you're doing what? You get a family, you get dead, you get a house, a car, stuff. And you never really truly find your true passion. Guys, I'm just a firm believer in you do what you don't want to do, so you do what you want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You say that all the time.
Yeah, so it ain't got to be, well, they don't want to do that, want to do that. It's very difficult. Unless you're a Mark Zuckerberg or some one of them prodigies. Keep in mind, a lot of these guys that are young billionaires, coincidentally, these guys are come from Harvard, Stanford.
And their parents is already rich.
Well, but I'm saying they process on a whole different level. Right. Let's not discredit it. Right. Let's not discredit it. And I just want people to understand that when your kid is starting to kind of process what they want to do, even if they're looking to sell, it's not easy going to be just this yellow brick road with doing stuff. Like, look, man, like I said, I always just had what has worked for me and what I've done for myself and my children. Where you trying to be? Right. Let's just work backwards. What's the pathway you got to take? Because all this other stuff you don't know. Well, look, I'm a former military. I go in the military for a year or two, figure it out. You just come with a foundation. A couple programs be open to you. But to sit here and just say, well, this young person, they don't know what they want to do. They trying, they just want to do this, they want to do that. Man, listen, as you get older, so much shit can happen.
And change your perspective.
Yeah. If you don't go in the military, if you don't go to college, if you don't vocational school, you know what I'm saying? Well, I didn't do this. Sometimes kids be like, well, daddy or mama, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But man, I messed up.
I messed up.
If I go back, I wish I would have did this. I might, a lot of times people say to me all the time, they say, a lot of folks, I want to say, they didn't support me, or they didn't, again, and I can't trip. But when I went into the military at the high school, that wasn't a thing that got a lot of fanfare.
No celebration.
Yeah, it wasn't none whatsoever.
Right.
Because again, people like, I remember the biggest quote Larry Fishburne had in what was it? Yeah, Larry Fishburne in Boys in the Hood. From no college,
right?
And I went in the damn military. I'm just saying. fanfare with it.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that came. I wish I had to do this. I wish I had to do that. Don't be parents. Don't be afraid to be transparent. And like, hey, man, I wish I had to did it this way. Wish I had done it that way. Because world. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic with it. Hey man, you might want to go down to the plant. You might want to go down to General Motors. You might want to go work at the city. You might want to go work for the state. You might want to go down to the police department. I'm not saying that that's who works there, but I'm saying those are actually stable entry level stuff. I think everybody wants to be this entrepreneur. Well, let me go start this business, start that business, and stuff like that. The issue with that is the reason why you have these extremely high, failure rates when people start business. Why? Because foundationally, they don't know marketing, they don't know managing, they don't know financing, they don't know advertising, they don't know management. There's so much shit that they don't know. And a lot of times people will try to go down that entrepreneurial path. And a key ingredient that most successful entrepreneurs have, they're not extremely disciplined. And you have to be very, very, very. Everybody know do that, check my email. I mean, everybody know that, man. That's the same damn routine I had damn near 30 years, right? So if you can be that type of person, especially down here in Atlanta. You gotta be realistic how you are. If you know your child has struggled with certain things, it doesn't mean they can't do stuff. That don't mean they can't go to college. But you gotta be very, very realistic about, like, hey man, listen, you're already struggling with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I see people with kids that got behavior problems, stuff like that. And send that to the Marine Corps. Send their ass to the Marine Corps.
I wish I had went to the Marines. My uncles never taught me. My uncles never was not having that. They was like, did you say your uncle said? Oh no, they was like Lawrence Fishburne on Boys in the Hood. Military ain't for you. Military ain't for black folks. But they both was in the military, and the icing on the cake is they was both in there 30 years plus. So I'm thinking to myself, if it's not for a black man, but you are in here. But I think they thing was we went in 1980. They went in 1980. You get what I'm saying? They went in 1980, and at that time, that was a big thing. So they went in there, and they said they wish they hadn't. They wish they would have went to college. But of course, they got degrees and stuff now and there. They know how to do a bunch of stuff, computers, and set up satellites and link satellites to the Earth and all that stuff. But I wish I hadn't let them talk me out of it, or had let them put the roadblock up to it, because I think I would have did very well in the military.
We'll see.
I was structured anyway. My mindset was already structured. Like I already knew what I needed to do, because when I went to summer school and learned and figured out that I was getting credits for it, and I was just going to eat because we were poor. That's when I said, "Oh well, shit! I'm getting credits for this. I might well go to class for these 4 hours."
Check this out, Lab. I think I'm one of the few people that have had exposure to all different kind of realms. I've been working able to work in the White House over the Old National from 7 to 4.
Okay.
So I say that lumber warehouse, splinters, and all this other kind of shit.
Hands,
and all that. I would see a lot of times one of the biggest things for the guys when I was because I was like 22, 23. A lot of them guys were in their 30s
Mhm.
or 40s. They had families. They were working in that warehouse I was working in. So, they were, they took a liking to me. They know I was going to school. I've been great when I'm doing my work.
Right.
But what always stuck with me was, and I'm gonna share another story too in the military. What always stuck with me was they would be so, to the question that Shane had posed earlier. What stuck with me was a lot of times they bring a white guy in, hardly in black. Not saying it was, they bring a white guy in. A lot of times it just be their network or
Right.
That they would just come off the street. These guys been here 10 years.
Right.
And they would be so damn mad. 10, 15, some handful scratching at 20. They knew that operation inside.
Got the degree.
Got something. Or just find out what do I need. Because going to another story that really opened my mind up to that, it just came to me then. When I was in Germany, I was stationed in Germany. Matter of fact, Tupac died.
Okay.
I and I was just in there working, just rehab, and it came up that this guy was an officer. And keep in mind, I think I still was a damn private then. So I had to be 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
But I'm listening to this guy that was the E7, been in there, 17 years. I went through it. Other guy couldn't be no more than, I'm thinking maybe 24, 25. He's lieutenant, officer. And I remember this yesterday. That opened my mind to all this shit. He said, "Sir, do you think that's fair? It's all informal. We just chat." He said, "Do you think it's fair for you to be making as much money as me? You only been in 2 to 3 years, and I've been in 17 years." And the guy, he wasn't tripping. He said, "It's all about decisions." He said, "In the 17 years you've been here, you've been in, you knew that people were coming in making less by being officers." He said, "At some point in time, 3, 5, 10, you could have went to officer school.
Right.
And at this point, you could be making 2 times as much money as I make.
Right.
But you didn't decide to do that." So I based it a lot of times decision making. A lot of times, so we start looking at people having problems with somebody that's educated, sometimes with people doing certain things. Life all about decisions.
Right.
It's all about decisions. And when you sit there and say, "Well, look, man, I'm too old to go to school. I ain't got time for that," or sometimes people say, "Well, look, man, you doing that job, you make just much. I make just much money as you do. If you got a degree, whatever kind of shit somebody want to say,
right,
it's still your decision."
That's right.
I remember when one of my partners, one of my partners on the west side, no guy sitting out in the neighborhood. So I working downtown, I had like shirt khakis, and I ain't know the guys. I was just saying what's up with my partner, and dude said something I thought ignorant shit. I usually let stuff go through, and he said, "I bet you I make more money at the warehouse than you do at your job." And number one, first thing in my mind, why you care?
Right.
But that's the thing about it, like how people sometimes that's just that jealousy shit. He only said that because I was very clean. I don't even need to know what you make. Yeah, damn sure gonna tell you what I make.
Right.
But just have certain things in. And we just I won't get too much off topic, but we got to be realistic with our, especially when we try to guide our children with certain stuff. Y'all got to be realistic about the decisions that you make in regards to steering. Don't get so caught up in shit that you did or you did not do and push that so much on them. Because regardless if we feel they listen or not, we're very influential on our children, especially what we do, right? We say certain stuff.
And say how we say it to them.
Exactly. Because your message get lost upon how your delivery is, right? But those are the kind of things I think we got to just be honest with ourselves about. We start talking about, it's college worth the cost. Like I said, I'm very big on acquiring skill sets. If that skill set can take you here, can take you there, able to provide certain things, that you can be aware of that. But don't be so adverse to certain stuff because, again, I think one of the biggest proponents people always talking about not necessarily going to school because of student loan debt. I'm just saying that you just need to make sure you're being proactive.
Let me ask you a question. Let me give you a scenario. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
You good?
Let me give you a scenario because, let's say I'm Chris.
Okay.
And I'm Chris. He's been in college 2 years, doing great, smart young man, loving to death. And he say, Dad, I know I've been doing college 2 years, it's great, but I don't think I want to do it. But this is the plan that I have. I want to go to trade school, get me electrical engineering, whatever, and then I'm gonna work for George Powell. How would because a lot of times as parents, we take things personally, and like you have worked very hard with all your children to get them where they need to be. And if you didn't work hard to get them in college, your network did all the things you had, you did as a parent to make sure he got into college and does well. And then he comes to you with that after 2 years. How would you take that?
I wouldn't like it. And I would, at the end of the day, you can't make a kid do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I would pose to Chris, and I'll be very real with you, is my thing is, and I would, number one, tell him appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because all my kids come to me and talk to me.
Right.
I get called P for the graduating year. I would say finish the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go, go. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason being is because if you want to do that, and it's going to go to a thing we start talking about, I'm just start talking about this vocational stuff. If you want to do that, you don't want to encounter a situation at year of, I'm sorry, I have a drink break. You don't want to encounter a situation at year 5 or 6
Mm-hmm.
with, with your certification
Mm-hmm.
from, being an electrician. And for you to progress, you need that damn degree.
Right.
I would say get that out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Now, what you decide, what do you decide?
Right.
Right? But my thing would be, I would say finish
Mm-hmm.
with you 2 years in, and then go get there.
Right.
What I will say this, dog, and I'm just being real with you. And again, guys, y'all feel free to comment on this. There are plumbers and electricians and mechanics that make outstanding wages.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is you can't do that shit forever.
Right.
You can sit here and use that degree till you're 80, 90 years old.
Right.
Your ass can't be on no damn pole
Mm-hmm.
or up on no car at 80, 90 years old.
Right.
I'm just saying, and let me stop 80. Let's say 40, 50.
Yeah.
Shit, you just, it hurt.
Right. It's yeah.
It hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one is, you can say, I make $100,000 at this, I make $100,000,
On
doing
this electrical pole.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. One of them you're going to feel at the end of the year, the other one you ain't.
Right.
I mean, that's just keeping it real.
Right.
That's not knocking nobody, but that's the gist of it.
Mhm.
At some point in fashion, if you want to progress, become a supervisor or whatever in leadership or management, whatever, some shit is going to be required.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true.
So if you're just looking, okay, I just want to do it, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if hey, this is where you're at, man,
Right.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The shit gonna come back up.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw that question out because, like I said, we take things personally as parents. Once we get our children to we have dreams and aspirations for our children, and once we get them to a certain point, to make those dreams and aspirations come true, and they come to us with an alternative motive or alternative scenario, we may not hear them. We may not hear as to why they don't want to do it. All we hear is, "Oh, we didn't work this hard to get you." You know what I'm saying? We're defensive now because we don't understand. Well, what's wrong with this plan? We had this plan the whole time. Why you want to change the plan?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm a firm believer in
Right.
follow the blueprint.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Poochie know what Poochie know.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, if my child can sit here and say, well, I can do this and I can do this stuff, doing this stuff on TikTok, the ignorant side of me can be like, man, leave that shit alone, whatever.
Right.
But he really might have insight.
Right.
My whole point of it is like, hey man, show me something.
Right.
I don't want your words.
Right.
Show me something. Show me where you see these numbers at. Not what you heard, not what you think, not what you pray about. Show me something with that. Because what I'm telling you, I can show you this,
Mhm.
right? But you gotta have them conversations. You can't make them. They're gonna do what they want to damn do.
Right.
But you can't sit here and make these decisions and want me to, hey,
Right.
follow this.
Support
I'm
it.
like, dog, I don't see how that's working,
Mhm.
right? But that would be my thing. to my son.
Right.
Going to finish his last 2 years out.
Mhm.
If you want to do that, go get that.
Right.
But I can always see that coming back because again, I always go back when I was working in that warehouse. Brothers, they were good guys. Knew
Right.
people coming in.
Right.
And if
You
you're
know
gonna
this
make this,
before I knew it.
so if you knew this was gonna be a career for you, why didn't you just go and get that?
Right.
If you chose not to do it, why were you even talking about it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's it. We can't play the game, and we know the damn rules,
Mhm.
and then we bitch about the rules because it kind of don't work in our favor.
Right.
But
Right.
you were playing the game,
Right.
right? Sam Prince PR said, yes, please keep in mind that everyone doesn't have the same opportunities. Everyone's at different starts and household decisions make an impact, but everyone is exposed different. And hashtag catch up game, 6 red bone 28 said it's a no. I'm assuming about what we talk about the college. But again, man, I think people got to be realistic.
Mhm.
So, my personal opinion is college worth the cost. Yes, under certain situations, because it is the deal too. Let's be real.
Right.
Would I send my child to UGA
Mhm.
to get a business degree, or would I send them to Fort Valley to get a business degree?
Right.
If I know my child, I know the value if you go to UGA, from a network standpoint, this, that, and that. So
Right.
you're gonna probably in a situation. It's the same paper.
Right.
It's the same paper.
Right.
But you need to make sure if you're gonna sit here and acquire the cost to
Mhm.
go to UGA, that they're going to be doing that. If you think that they show up, but they ain't gonna muscle it up during, and take advantage of everything like that,
Mhm.
I probably send them for that
Right.
because the cost cheaper.
Right.
My
Right.
oldest son went to Vanderbilt, number 8 university in the country.
Mhm.
He never was a network.
Okay.
I didn't pay for it.
Okay. So that's
There's no way,
different. Right.
no way in the hell I'd have sent him there, knowing that because again, it's not the school or so, it's the network.
Mhm.
He wasn't,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
wasn't. My second son, opposite. He's always networking, this, that, and that, attitude, this, that, and that, right, and stuff like that. It'd have been a perfect situation for him.
Right.
But again, I wasn't paying for it. I ain't paying for what he got now.
Right.
Where he's at now, rather. You got to be realistic with your kids. So again, with situations like that, parents, you just gotta don't be so quick to want to just listen to, hey,
You got to
have me going
listen to your kids and yourself.
Yeah, because man, you know how they are.
Right.
You know how they are. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, man, we talked about this shit before, where people raise these damn adult kids and trying to do that. Let their asses fall.
Mhm.
Let them own some shit that they messed up. If you want to go do that, okay, I'm gonna help you,
Right.
but I'm gonna help you on my terms. We're gonna
Right.
make this shit real damn uncomfortable, yeah, because you didn't want to listen to it.
Right.
Because I'm not I told you so person.
Right. I'm
I'm
gonna
not,
show you so.
but yeah, exactly. Because like I tell my kids, like if I steer you the wrong way,
Mhm.
I can cover that.
Mhm.
But if I tell you something, this is just me. I've done enough research. I've done enough talking to find out, hey, this is the best pathway for what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
But if you want to do something different, which is your right, if shit don't work, you got to fix it. And parents, you got to be able to be cool with
Letting them have it.
shit. It's you. It's you.
I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, college may not be worth it, but you have to think about that. A lot of these jobs that pay well, college is a requirement. It may not be worth it to you, but it's going to be a lot more doors open with the degree than it will be without it. A lot of times, just getting in the door requires the degree. You get what I'm saying? It requires for you even to play on the field, you got to have a degree, and it may not be a master's or a bachelor's. You may have an associate's degree, but sometimes it's a requirement to come on the field and play. You may not get the job, you may not get up at bat, or whatever the case may be, but you're gonna have it to get in the door. It's just the way it is. You can't. You may get in there and they be like, "Oh, well, your experience is great," but you got to get in there first.
And the key thing to jump over a lot of that shit is relationships.
Right.
It's relationships. Who do you know? Who do you not just who you know? Who do you know that can make a decision for you?
Right.
Who do you know can speak for you?
Right.
Who do you know that can sit here and put you in a position where they in front of a decision maker to skip the line to do certain stuff? Who do you know to do that? Well, you can get this deal or get that deal or whatever. You gotta push into your kids like you're going to this place. You're going to get educated, but you ask me to make sure that you're active. You gotta be active. If you're not active, you just gotta take what come along with it.
And a lot of networking, you do a lot of networking in school, but you do something that's not out of school. I'm going to tell you a story about how I got into property management, managing shopping centers. I was working with a guy who rebuilt houses. That's what he did at his day job. He managed shopping centers for big corporations. He didn't know if I had a degree or not. We never discussed it. It wasn't something I don't just readily walk around saying, I have a degree. I have a master's, blah, blah, blah. I don't just do that. But without him knowing, he said, you know what? You come work over here with me. He was like the vice president or something. He said, you come with me. I said, well, what do I need? He said, you don't need nothing. He said, come up here this day, this time, fill out this application. Let's do a background check. You hired. And literally, that was what it was. Fast forward a few years after he left that corporate job, started doing his own thing on his own time. I said, well, I want to work at the railroad. His brother-in-law was I forget what they call that guy who's the head of the whole railroad part. He was there. He said, well, you want to work at the railroad? I said, yeah, I love working at the railroad just to see how it is. No problem. Called his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law called me up to the job. Say, hey, Steve say you want to work at the railroad? I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. All right, come in tomorrow. We'll get you started. But this is just the networking, how it can work if you network properly, because none of those guys actually for a degree. I'm just throwing it out there. They didn't know if I had a degree, but they were willing to put themselves out there
because you had a relationship.
I had a relationship with them.
Yeah, that by far. I just can't stress that to people know. Southwood Bishop VR says every college is different. Some are more competitive and are much more selective to enter. Some older teams need smaller classes too. I go back to again, man. You gotta know your kid. The parents, you gotta do your research. Don't leave that shit just to your kids. Don't leave it. Look, man, we all got shit going on.
Right.
And it's just like with your child in school. If you feel like I'm busy, I can't deal with it, it's gonna come up when you can do it. You can take care of some of this stuff
now
when it's inconvenient, or you got to deal with it when it's very inconvenient. So, you got to find out this information. Don't go off this. Don't 100% trust them damn counselors and teachers. They'll say shit. Well, I think it's a good spot. Like, well, what make it good?
Right.
What make it good?
Did you go there, or did your child go there?
And be okay with not knowing, but be diligent enough to sit there and find out what information, what you need to know. Because that's the thing about it, man. It's like anything else, man. Folks talk all over your damn head. Once they see that you don't know, right? You go to the mechanic, he'll say it's such and such sensor. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What does that do? Well, keep this, that going. You start doing some research with a couple phone calls. That ain't what that for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why the hell you charging me for that, man? That ain't what needed. But people can do that. Now, like I said, we're at Google University, YouTube University. Words at your fingertips, parents. So again, I appreciate the conversation we had tonight in regards to those college work and college book. I think it was very insightful. Again, guys, if you came in the middle of the show, you missed pieces of it, go to Mr. Short Dot on YouTube, check out the video in its whole entirety, or go to Change the Line, hosted by Deonte Burden, check the video out in its whole entirety. Been a great conversation. And if there's anything that we didn't go over, feel free to put the comments, put a question in the comments on those YouTube videos. And I'll get back with you in at least 48 hours with my response to it. But again, man, thanks for the insight. Thanks for everything. We got everybody questions answered?
Yeah, no more questions.
No more questions? Okay, cool. Well, listen, everyone, again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell everybody thank you for the growth we had on the YouTube channel with everything and stuff. Man, I can't even just stress enough. Like, shit, I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, but I definitely want to, you guys just make sure you stay diligent on the specific things that we talked about as well. But y'all take care, be safe, be back next week. Hey guys, listen. And you just decide if I go any further. If you haven't checked out Westside Misfits or Misfits Radio, TV and Talk, go there, man. You got the dollar hour, we got Change the Lives coming in, but we got comedy shows, we got gospel shows, we got music shows going 7 days a week, right? Seven days a week.
Yeah.
You have to go there, right? So definitely, man,
Appreciate
a lot
that.
of great information. No, I appreciate y'all, but definitely check out them, see my other counterparts that's on the radio station. And check out trust me, you will be entertained, you will be informed by the information you receive. But in the meantime, y'all take care. Love you all. Be safe, and I'll talk with you soon.